Did you know that no emotion lasts longer than 90 seconds unless you feed it? That's right. The actual physiological response to any emotion fades naturally in just a minute and a half. Here's what happens in your brain. When an emotion hits, your body releases a surge of chemicals. These chemicals course through your system and clear out within 90 seconds, unless your thoughts keep that cycle going. This isn't positive thinking fluff. It's neuroscience. Dr. Jill Bolt Taylor uncovered this through her research at Harvard. What keeps emotions lingering isn't the feeling itself. It's the story we tell ourselves that keeps re-triggering the chemical response. So, next time you feel anger rising, try this instead of reacting. Notice the physical sensations, tightness in your chest, heat in your face. Then, simply count to 90 while breathing. Don't fight the feeling, just observe it like a wave passing through. You'll literally feel the intensity ease as the chemicals flush out. This simple awareness gives you incredible power. You're no longer at the mercy of emotional storms because you now understand their temporary nature. This is the foundation of emotional regulation, something most people never learn. Emotions are like weather systems. They always pass, if you don't fight them. We've all had that moment when we snapped at someone, only to regret it seconds later. That's the 90-second rule in action. By the time you realize it, the emotion itself has already begun to fade. You know how we blame our feelings for our actions? Sorry, I yelled. I was just angry. That's like blaming the rain for forgetting your umbrella. Your emotions don't make your decisions, but wow, they can be convincing salespeople. Chapter 1. Cognitive Reframing. What if I told you disappointment isn't caused by what happens to you, but by the gap between your expectations and reality, and that you have the power to close that gap? Cognitive reframing is a technique that shifts how you view a situation, without changing the situation itself. Our brains are prediction machines, constantly building expectations. When reality doesn't match, we feel disappointed, angry, or sad. Reframing doesn't mean pretending everything is fine. It means adjusting your perspective to see things more clearly, with less catastrophizing and more possibility. Let's say you didn't get a promotion you wanted. The catastrophic frame says, "I'm a failure. I'll never advance." A reframed view says, "This is one setback on my career path. What feedback can I use to improve my chances next time?" Notice how one perspective closes doors while the other opens them. Reframing turns paralyzing disappointment into actionable challenge. It's not positive thinking. It's accurate thinking, acknowledging difficulty while maintaining agency. Think of those moments when something that once seemed devastating. Reframing lets you access that mindset when you need it, not years later. Our brains are like overly dramatic movie directors. You get criticized in a meeting, cue the tragic music. My career is over. Meanwhile, everyone else has already moved on, thinking about lunch. Chapter 2. The Emotional First Aid Kit. We prepare first aid kits for physical injuries, but what about emotional ones? What if you had personalized tools ready for when anxiety, sadness, or overwhelm hit? An emotional first aid kit is a collection of strategies, activities, and reminders prepared in advance for moments of emotional distress. The key? Build it when you're feeling good, not in the middle of a crisis. Your kit should target your emotional triggers and use multi-sensory tools, things you can see, hear, touch, or do to break emotional spirals and activate your calming, parasympathetic nervous system. Let's build a simple kit. First, identify your common emotional challenges, like anxiety or self-doubt. Then choose a physical action, like 10 jumping jacks, a sensory element, like a calming scent, a cognitive tool, like a mantra or helpful question, and a social support like texting a trusted friend. Store these in your phone along with reminders of challenges you've overcome. This proactive approach transforms how you face tough emotions. Instead of being blindsided, you'll have tools ready, customized for your brain. Emotional preparation isn't paranoia, it's wisdom. How often do we hear, "I don't know what to do when I feel this way"? It's a universal struggle. We rarely teach how to handle emotions in the moment. Your brain during a crisis is like a toddler at a birthday party who just found the candy stash, hyper and incapable of making good choices. Your emotional first aid kit. It's the responsible adult that steps in and says, "Okay, that's enough sugar for today." Chapter 3. Breaking rumination cycles. Have you ever tried to stop thinking about something, only to think about it even more? That mental quicksand has a name, rumination. And yes, there's a way out. Rumination is repetitive thinking about past events or negative emotions. But unlike problem solving, it loops endlessly, without resolution. And here's the kicker. Trying to force yourself to stop ruminating actually strengthens the loop. It's like telling yourself, "Don't think about a pink elephant." Now guess what you're thinking about? The key isn't to fight the thought. It's to change your relationship with it through pattern interruption and attentional pivoting. Try this simple 5-3-1 technique. First, name 5 things you can see around you. This activates your visual cortex. Next, move to a different spot. Across the room, outside, just move. Then, do 3 minutes of an absorbing activity that requires focus. For example, counting backward from 100 by sevens. Finally, take one small, productive action, related to the problem if possible, or unrelated if not. This works because you're not suppressing thoughts. You're redirecting your brain's powerful attention elsewhere. Your mind is like water. It needs to flow somewhere. Give it a healthy channel. You know those nights when you can't sleep because your mind is replaying that embarrassing thing you said 3 years ago. That's rumination, and we all experience it. My brain at 3 a.m. Hey, remember when you accidentally called your teacher mom back in 2012? Let's analyze that in excruciating detail for 2 hours instead of sleeping. Thanks, brain. Super helpful. Chapter 4, The Spotlight Effect. Did you know there's a psychological phenomenon that makes you feel like everyone is staring at your flaws, when in reality, they barely notice? This mental trick has caused more unnecessary suffering than almost anything else. It's called the spotlight effect, our tendency to overestimate how much others notice or care about our appearance, actions, or mistakes. Cornell researchers tested this by asking students to wear embarrassing t-shirts, and the wearers hugely overestimated how many people noticed. Why? Because we are the center of our own universe, hyper-aware of ourselves. But everyone else, they're the center of their universe too, mostly thinking about themselves. Remember that time you made a small mistake in a presentation? It felt enormous to you. Maybe you still cringe about it. Now ask yourself, can you recall the small mistakes others made in their presentations? Probably not, because you were busy thinking about your own. That's the spotlight effect in action. And the same goes for how you perceive your own flaws. Understanding this is incredibly freeing. It releases you from that imaginary jury in your mind. Most of the judgment you feel is coming from inside the house. We've all had that panic. Everyone's staring at my stained shirt, or that awkward thing I said. The truth? Most people didn't even notice. My brain. Everyone at this party noticed you used the wrong fork, and they're silently judging your lack of refinement. Reality? Everyone else is wondering if they're using the right fork. and worrying about their own refinement. We're all just forks in the road, folks. Chapter 5. Third-person self-talk. What if I told you that simply changing the pronoun in your self-talk, from I to your name, could significantly reduce anxiety and improve decision-making? This small linguistic shift has a big impact. Third-person self-talk means referring to yourself by name or as you in your internal dialogue. Research from Michigan State University shows this creates psychological distance, helping you step back from intense emotions and see the situation more clearly. When you say, "I can't handle this," you're fused with the feeling. But if you say, "Peter can handle this," you activate the brain regions used for advising a friend, tapping into your wiser, more rational thinking. Next time you face a challenge, listen to your inner voice. If you catch yourself thinking, "I'm going to fail at this," pause and rephrase, "Peter has faced challenges before and figured out ways through." This simple shift engages your prefrontal cortex, the wise advisor part of your brain, instead of the emotional limbic system. It's like having a personal coach who knows all your strengths and capabilities, right when you need objective guidance. The way you speak to yourself shapes your reality. Ever notice how easily you can see solutions for friends that they can't see for themselves? This technique lets you access that same clarity for your own life. And have you noticed how we sometimes talk to ourselves in ways we'd never speak to another person? "You absolute disaster. How could you forget your keys again?" But if a friend forgot their keys, you'd say, "No worries, it happens to everyone." Apparently, your inner voice skipped all the lessons on basic kindness. Ready to make your life easier in a world full of challenges? Join our YouTube membership for exclusive perks like early access to scripts, input on future topics, and connecting with a like-minded community. Just click join below and let's build a more intentional life together. Chapter 6. Mental contrasting. What if I told you that positive thinking alone actually lowers your chances of reaching your goals? The missing piece? A technique called mental contrasting. Mental contrasting combines positive visualization with realistic obstacle planning. Research by Dr. Gabrielle Oettingen shows that pure positive thinking feels so good, it can actually sap your motivation to take action. Effective mental contrasting follows a simple sequence. First, vividly imagine your desired outcome. Picture the benefits. Then, identify the biggest obstacles you're likely to face. Finally, create specific if-then plans for handling those obstacles. Let's say you want to exercise regularly. First, visualize how you'll feel after building that habit. More energy, more confidence, better health. Then, identify likely roadblocks. I'll probably feel too tired after work. I might prioritize other tasks. Now, make an if-then plan. If I feel too tired after work, then I'll just do 10 minutes and reassess. If I'm tempted to skip for other tasks, then I'll remind myself, exercise actually improves productivity. This balanced approach gives you optimism, while preparing you for real-world challenges. It's the difference between wishful thinking and strategic planning. Hope for the best. Plan for the obstacles, and you'll be unstoppable. How many times have you started something with great enthusiasm, only to abandon it when unexpected obstacles appeared? Mental contrasting gives you foresight to navigate those inevitable challenges. Pure positive thinking is like planning a road trip, while only looking at pretty destination photos and ignoring the map. "I'm going to the beach, it'll be amazing." Then somehow, you're surprised when your car runs out of gas in the middle of nowhere because you forgot to check how far it actually was. But the brochure didn't mention gas station. What if you could build a life that doesn't just survive stress, but actually grows stronger because of it? That's the idea behind anti-fragility, and it's incredibly powerful. Anti-fragility is when systems benefit from stress, uncertainty, or disorder. the opposite of fragility. The concept was introduced by Nassim Taleb, who observed that some things grow stronger from shocks. Your muscles grow from the stress of exercise. Your immune system strengthens from exposure to germs. In the same way, your mind can build resilience through intentional challenges, not by avoiding stress, but by using it. To build anti-fragility, add voluntary discomfort to your routine. Take cold showers for 30 seconds. Practice a short fast. Have that difficult conversation you've been avoiding. These controlled stressors build your capacity for unexpected challenges. Create systems with redundancy, multiple ways to reach important goals, so no single point of failure will derail you. Anti-fragility transforms your relationship with stress. You no longer see it as something to fear. You recognize it as the path to growth. The obstacle is not in your way. It is the way. Think about it. How many of your proudest achievements came after challenge, not comfort? That's anti-fragility in action, and you've already experienced it. My comfort zone? It's like my favorite old sweatshirt. Feels amazing. Looks terrible. If I never take it off, I'll miss out on everything good in life. But it's so comfy. Yes, and so is quicksand. Right before it swallows you whole. Chapter 8. The Stockdale Paradox. How did some prisoners of war survive years in captivity, while others gave up hope? The answer holds a powerful lesson for getting through your hardest times. It's called the Stockdale Paradox, named after Admiral Jim Stockdale, who survived over 7 years as a prisoner in Vietnam. When asked how he endured, Stockdale revealed this: "You must never confuse faith that you will prevail in the end, with the discipline to confront the brutal facts of your current reality. In other words, maintain unwavering faith that you'll get through it, while fully facing how hard things are right now." The optimists who said, "We'll be out by Christmas," kept having their hopes crushed and lost heart. When facing big challenges, whether illness, career setbacks, or life transitions, apply the Stockdale Paradox. Admit, "This is genuinely hard and I don't know how long it will last." At the same time, affirm, "I will find a way through this, however long it takes." This balanced mindset protects you from both false hope and despair. It's a sustainable framework for enduring hardship. It keeps hope alive without setting brittle expectations. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's triumphing despite fear. We all face seasons without quick fixes. The Stockdale Paradox offers wisdom for those long, uncertain journeys. My optimistic brain during hard times. No worries. This will all be fixed by next Tuesday. At 3:17 p.m. Exactly. And then, when Wednesday comes, and everything's still a mess? Okay, new prediction. Friday at noon. For sure this time. Maybe instead of trying to be psychics, we should focus on being resilient instead. Chapter 9. Building your personal resilience system. What if, rather than bouncing from crisis to crisis, you had a system that made you naturally resilient? Let's build that system, right now. A personal resilience system weaves together multiple techniques into one framework, so it becomes your default mode during challenges. The key is practice, during calm periods, not just in emergencies. Your system should cover 4 areas. 1. Physiological regulation, managing your body's stress response. 2. Cognitive framing, how you interpret events. 3. Behavioral patterns, what you actually do. 4. Social connections, how you engage with others. This multi-dimensional approach keeps you from relying on willpower alone. To start, build your system with these components. For physiological regulation, practice the 4-7-8 breathing technique daily. Inhale for 4 counts, hold for 7, exhale for 8. For cognitive framing, use third-person self-talk and the Stockdale Paradox. For behavioral patterns, Apply the 90-second rule and mental contrasting. For social connection, identify 3 to 5 people who form your support network. Schedule weekly practice, so these tools become automatic when needed. This systems approach turns resilience into a skill, not just a personality trait. Like a well-built machine, your resilience system keeps running even when parts of it are under strain. Systems quietly outperform willpower every time. We often admire resilient people as if they were simply born that way. But in truth, resilience is built through practice and intentional design. It's like upgrading your brain's operating system. And unlike most OS updates, it actually helps you run better. Plus, no annoying "remind me tomorrow" button to click for 6 months. These 10 tools won't just help you survive tough times, they'll change your entire relationship with challenge. The 90-second rule shows emotions are temporary. Cognitive reframing turns setbacks into opportunities. An emotional first aid kit gives you practical resources. Breaking rumination frees your mind from mental loops. Understanding the spotlight effect releases unnecessary self-consciousness. Third-person self-talk unlocks your inner wisdom. Mental contrasting balances hope with preparation. Anti-fragility turns stress into strength. The Stockdale Paradox provides sustainable hope, and your personal resilience system integrates it all. These aren't one-time hacks to use and forget. They're practices to integrate into your life, forming a foundation of resilience that will serve you through any storm. The tools you've learned today will find you when you need them most, because you've planted them in your mind, ready to emerge. Your resilience isn't measured by avoiding storms, but by how well you dance in the rain. Start by choosing just one technique from today that resonated with you. Practice it for 1 week. Notice what changes. Then add another. Resilience is a journey, not a destination. And it begins with a single step. Take that step today. And hey, if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. Also, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Oh, and one more thing.